Staten Island as a whole, and I love the passion that we have for basketball. That's why it's dope, because we're our own little corner of the New York City
Yeah.
basketball world. That we have our own history that we're proud of. But, I think a lot of it is, and honestly, there are a lot of people who didn't play college, whether they're on a list or they're not, that probably have a lot more talent than I did.
Oh, of course. Yeah, that's true too.
And didn't have a chance to play. So
Yeah.
I ended up playing Division III basketball. So, the knock on that, everybody feels like they can do that. So,
Yeah.
everybody feels like they can do it. My whole thing was when I played, I'm playing because I love the game. And the one thing you can't take away from me, which I'll stand on, is whatever level. Like my teams at CSI is unmatched. I was
Yeah.
on the best team ever. So that's all I can talk about. I can't talk about anybody that did this or did that. All I can talk about is where I was and what was in front of me. We were the best team ever. Now at St. Peter's, transversely, my junior year, we were maybe the worst team ever. So I've been a part of both ends of the spectrum.
Both ends, yeah. Yeah, me too. Me too. I played on McKee.
You know what I mean?
So you talk about worst team. I played on McKee when they were horrible. And then I went to college and played on Farmingdale, JUCO. That was one of the best in the nation, like top of the line. So I played on both. And I think both helps people. But speaking of I think you under the radar because I don't think people seen you. They didn't because I didn't see you and I seen everybody, but I didn't see you around certain leagues and stuff. So I think that's what it is. But I see some people that everybody talks about, and even though they might be more talented, like you said, you have a body of work and proven. You played on CSI. When did you start playing basketball? Because we're gonna get into you and the coaching thing. So when did you start playing?
So I've been playing basketball for as long as I feel like I've been living. Like I don't remember a time where there wasn't basketball, but I know I started playing organized 5 years old.
Wow. Ooh. That's early.
St. Roch's Clinic. St. Roch's is not too far from my house. And, I played on the little hoops. I was in kindergarten and I played in the clinic hoops and played with a bunch of other kids my age. Like I remember my mom used to always dress me in sweatpants. And I look around like, why you got me in sweats? Like I didn't really get it. But that was my first memories of basketball. And then actually in first grade, you're not supposed to play in the big hoops until third grade. But my dad had put me on a third grade team from first grade. So first grade, I was playing with kids 2 years older than me. And honestly, I didn't understand it because I played 2 years with that group of kids. And I thought they were all my age. I didn't understand that I was the youngest by 2 years. And then when I got to third grade, they wouldn't let me play up anymore. So I played I played 1 year up. And then after that, I didn't play CYO again until I was in the fifth grade. So I went there. I went to St. Rita's, played CYO, played there for 2 years, and that was great. Met a lot of great people. I actually got coached by somebody differently than my dad for the first time. Started playing AU around fifth grade, and then seventh and eighth grade, I went to school at St. Adalbert's. So I played basketball there. My dad coached me again, which is a huge gift. I mean, obviously some days we both probably want to kill each other, but looking back at it, it's definitely something that was invaluable to have him around and to coach me and whatnot. And then,
so why you pick Peters though? So you played all these years, and what made you say you could have went to Farrell, Moore? So I got to know what made you decide to pick them out of all schools.
Yeah, so really I was in between St. Peter's and Moore, and the only reason I wanted to go to Moore was Kyle McElwain is a year older than me. So we were in the same AAU program, and Kyle wasn't Kyle yet. He was a great player in that class.
He wasn't him,
Ramsey, Moses. I could go on. I could go on with people in that class a year older than me.
Yeah, that was a good class. Yeah,
it was like 15 really good players. So with Kyle, I looked at it as, man, we could be like, I remember he said something like, we could be the best backcourt in the city when I'm a senior, you're a junior. And that's it. That was it for me. Like, he was talking about how he's going to the gym in the morning. And I was like, yeah, I don't live that far. Like, I'm with that. Like, I just really admired his work ethic. And it's funny to say admired because he was only a year older than me. But I just admired his work ethic. And I thought that, I don't know. I don't like a lot about the school per se. I like the coach. He was tough. But I just think this dude is gonna help me get better. Like playing him
Yeah.
every day for 3 years gonna help me get better. But honestly, what it came down to, and my parents helped me make the decision, was that I just liked the school overall, St. Peter's, and my parents really liked
Mm.
it better. And the reason why I liked St. Peter's from young was John Baiano, that like point blank
Oh
period.
wow, really?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So and Biz knows this. Like my admiration for Biz growing up was out of control. So
Wow. See, I didn't know that. That's dude. That's interesting. Yeah, he's a good dude,
yeah,
man. He's real good.
great dude. So Andrew Wisniewski, I watched him when I was young. Watched him in Red Trip battle, and I think that was
Yeah.
'99 that championship game at Foul Red Trip. You know, they both had a great game. Curtis won, so I watched that. That's when I really started getting hip to St. Peter's. But other than that, I watched Biz play for 3 years, and I was like, he used to dribble. You know, it'd be like a 2 point game or 4 point game in the fourth quarter with no shot clock. So he would just
Yeah.
clear out the whole court and just dribble around. Everybody would be booing. He's dribbling off like 5 minutes of the clock. So I was like, I want to do that. I want to go to St. Peter's, and when we're up 2 or 4 points, I want to go and do that. So John Baiano was a big reason why I wanted to go to St.
Wow.
Peter's and be a point guard. And yeah, I've told him that before. And as I got older, I remember my first varsity game. He hit me up on AIM on AOL and was like, "Yo, go ahead, boy, do your thing." And like that was like Mike Jordan hit me up to me. You know what I'm saying?
Wow, that's interesting. Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
a good role model to have too, because he's tough and he worked on his game and he definitely deserved to play Division II. Because at first I used to kill him, and you know that. Like I used to be like, because to me I felt for Staten Island level, I wanted him to be more of a scorer because I felt as his size to play on the next level, you have to do more on Staten Island, even though that wasn't his game. And he picked it up. And then he started winning. Then he started, his game developed and he got tough. And then, he wound up playing college ball. So I'm proud of him. You went D2, great career, Hall of Fame. So that's a good person to look up to. When you went to Peters and you was playing there, was you ever thinking, because a lot of people do, I want to play D1. You know what I'm saying? I want to do this and then kill in college because everybody want to play on the next level.
yeah,
What was your mindset as far as when you was there? What schools were you wanted thinking about, or what level you thought you were gonna play on?
yeah. So that was great. So after my junior year, I had an up and down junior year. I started off really hot, and then we weren't good, and we had a lot of we had a lot of internal struggles. So we weren't good. We were not a regular St. Peter's team. We were getting beat by everybody, and it was tough. And honestly, I towards the end of the season, I mentally just tapped out. And I thank Coach Driscoll for that stuff now because me and him really would get into it, and a lot of it, most of it, was me being immature and not just I wanted more. We were losing. I just
Yeah.
wanted more out of the season. I was not happy. That was the toughest year of my high school life, my junior
Mm.
year. So that pushed me into playing football because I started worrying about college. And I was like, I'm not going to go to college for basketball. Like, there's nothing happening. Nobody, like Mike
Yeah.
Cavallo, like these guys, like Mike Dudds, who's a great football player from my neighborhood. I'm like, these guys aren't playing Division I basketball. So, like, why am I gonna play? I didn't even do nothing my junior year. I was realistic, so I went and played football. I wasn't even gonna play basketball my senior year. Um,
Mm.
so I
That's
played
interesting.
football. I played football, and I was really looking into my whole thing was I'm gonna go to Penn State. I'm gonna walk on. I love Penn State football. I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna walk on. I'm gonna go play football. And my football coaches were gonna help me do that. Then when basketball season's coming along, going to open gyms and stuff, and you love basketball, so you
Yeah,
just
it's in
realize
your blood. Yeah.
you talking like you chatting. There's no way you're not gonna play basketball. Um, but even then, like a lot of the kids I came in with, we had 4 seniors quit my senior year. So a lot of guys I came in with, they weren't playing. We had 2 young sophomores who weren't ready yet, but we needed them because they were 2 of the most talented people in the building. And we had an up and down season. So I had my eye as a competitor. Like I said, a lot of my friends I grew up playing against, James Feldine was signed to Quinnipiac. Brian McKenzie was signed to Providence. Edgar Sosa was going to Louisville. Curtis Kelly was going to UConn. Um, I could go on. These are
Yeah.
guys I grew up playing against.
Yeah. I
So
remember those names too. Yeah.
right. So like all respect, like, and Brian McKenzie is my man's even to this day. But like I'm looking at these dudes, I'm like, I know I'm not Big East, like I know that, but I can play with these dudes, so there's no
Yeah.
way I can't play somewhere. I
Yeah.
ended up fortunate again the opportunity to get offered a walk-on spot at Monmouth, and I took that. I never even seen the school. I was like, yeah, I'm going. That's it. That was it. I didn't know what the
Yeah.
school looked like or anything.
Oh, and then how did that go? I mean, because you didn't stay there, so what made you leave?
So I went and I was it was an eye-opening experience two ways. One, like my locker was in between two 7-footers. So I had a 7'2" guy to my right and a 7 who ended up getting drafted by the D League after the year, and then I had a 7-foot freshman to my left. So just like I grew up watching Wagner play. I seen so many
Yeah.
Wagner games. So at the time we were in the NEC, so I had seen Monmouth, but like being around it every single day, I was like, wow, these guys are good. But at the same time, I was like, I can definitely figure this out. I knew they had just came off of winning the NEC. They had won a playing game the year before, and then they played Nova with Mike Nardi, Randy Foy, Alan Ray.
I don't know that.
So they were down like 8 points with like 6 minutes left. It was a game. So I'm in the locker room with these guys. I just got done watching them on TV, so it's kind of like a real feeling. But at the same time, there's that chip on my shoulder that, I'm gonna figure this out. I'm just gonna play hard every day, and eventually, somehow, some way, whether it be this year, next year, whatever, at some point, I'm gonna play. So I went there. I actually redshirted, which was a blessing to me because I knew I was only gonna play like mop-up duty. So it was a blessing. I could lift on game days. It was awesome to me. But the school fit of everything, like I said, I didn't know anything about the school before I went. I just knew that they were offering me a chance to be on the team, and that was enough. And I had an academic scholarship to go to school, so I only had to pay for room and board. So it was like perfect for me. But it just wasn't a great fit for me as both a student and as a 18-year-old kid at the time. Obviously, I didn't do any research. I was just like, I wasn't even paying attention to any other schools. I was just like, how can I get on a D1? Because I also knew I wanted to coach. So
you always know about that? Because I want to get into that too. You always wanted to coach? Oh, okay.
So and we could get into it, obviously, but like my dad being a youth coach, and then like a bunch of coaches always calling me like a coach on the floor. I really fed into that. So I always felt like, coaching college basketball, that would be dope. Like you're watching games in the summer.
Yeah.
We don't really know much about it. Like I want to coach college basketball. Like I always said that. So I was like, to coach college, you got to be at a D1. If you want to coach at a D1, I think you got to be at a D1. I don't think like they're gonna listen to me if I played at a D3.
That's a good point. Yeah.
This is me thinking at 17 years old. So regardless of anything, I'll go sit on the bench for 4 years. Like I'm not trying to sit on the bench, but I'll go do that because I think that will help my resume when it comes time to coaching. So that that's how that decision was made, and then it just wasn't a good fit for me. So I ended up leaving, and then I transferred to Wagner. I didn't know at the time because they were both in the NEC. You got to sit out 2 years. It was like a conference rule. I was, I'm the only, I have a sister, but my parents had never been through this process, which is funny to say considering where I'm at now with basketball. But I didn't know. I would have never transferred to Wagner. I probably would have went right to CSI.
Yeah. I didn't know that either, that you got to you got to sit up. But yeah, it's the same conference or something like that. Oh.
And I was like, I didn't even play. I was so confused because I was like, I didn't even play last year. And I knew Marlon Sears was now the coach at Amherst. He just got the job like a week ago. He was assistant coach, and he was like, at the very least, you could be a practice player. And I was like, yeah, I'm just trying to be on the D1 roster. Whether you think I'm good enough or not, I'm going to bust my ass every day, and I'm going to work. I feel like eventually I'm going to figure it out. But I want to get an opportunity. So that didn't work out. I ran track for a little bit, and then finally I ended up going to CSI and finishing my last 2 years.
Wow. I think out of all of that, listening to what you're telling me, that helped you at CSI, if you think about it, because you played, even though you didn't play in the games, you practicing with these guys, right? Playing with them, seeing what D1's like. So for me, I feel like, that probably helped you on that next level. So even though it might not have worked out, it did. And then you had your resume.
The most I've ever improved was my freshman year at Monmouth. That's for sure. Because like I said, we had 7-footers at Monmouth. We played the matchup zone, so I'm on the scout team every day. We started every practice with our team playing defense, which meant I was on offense. And in high school, I could get to the rim at will. I could get to the rim.
It's way different. Yeah.
Right? When you get to college, now it's a matchup zone, and there's footers back there. You may be able to get to the rim. I'm not getting to the rim at will, but I still had ability to get to the rim. But now you have to finish because they're letting you try to finish over these footers. I ain't never seen nothing like that ever. Like Lawrence Jolicoeur, who played at Holy Cross, he was 7 foot, but he was like 180 pounds. Like, so he wasn't moving that well. He was still growing, but I'm playing against 23-year-old 7'2" dudes. So I learned really quickly that jump shot I was developing at a slow rate needed to be at a quicker rate for me to play basketball.
Yeah, so, and you worked on it. Yeah, and you worked on it. And then when you played with CSI, so because you can see your development from Peters to CSI was way different. It was a big thing. So I can tell, and I believe now that you're telling me this that experience helped you. You know what I'm saying? When I played college, I remember that too, as far as the level of competition, and that's why people don't understand this too about college basketball. It's not like high school at all. And I realized how faster people were, how more talented, because like you said, going to the rim was easy in Staten Island with certain high school guys. And then when I went to college, these guys are right there. You ain't beating them with just speed. You have to have a skill set. So, it definitely, I can see what happened. So you go to CSI, right? And did you get along right away with Petosa? Because I have a story about him. Not to say he's bad, but did you get along with him well?
So a little background. So I turned him down 3 times before I actually went. So high school, we come to the games, and I was like, 1, I don't want to stay home, and 2, I just can't see myself playing at CSI. So it was never an option. I always thought he was a nice guy, but it was just never an option. Then when I left Monmouth, he had gave me a call and was like, hey, if you want to come, there's an opportunity. And I had thought about it, but I thought it was important for me to be on the Division I roster. So I turned him down then. Then I actually took a year off in between Wagner and CSI. So I had enrolled in CSI for like 2 days. And I went to his office, was like, I want to play. But then I was like, I'm not ready. I was in a different place with school mentally. So I was like, I'm not ready for this. So he thought I was going to play. This was 09. He thought I was going to play in 09. So now I'm actually in the school, and I went to his office. And by this time, I'm not thinking, but he about tired about hearing from me. Because every time he's approached me, it's always ended up in a no. So he actually, the guys would pick me up for like the first game in open runs, and he'd be up top, and he'd be like, nah, he's got to wait. So I'm like, okay, I get it. Like the first couple times, I get it, whatever. But he really had me do that for the whole preseason. And I used to go home, and I would be whining. I go home and be like, yo, is he crazy? Like, I could definitely help that team. And then my dad would listen to me. I remember one day he said to me, you want to be a coach, right? Yeah. Said, if you were Petosa, would you let you just walk in and just act like you could do whatever you want? And I think about it, because I already been coaching at Curtis High School, and was like, nah. Like I would probably kick that kid out the gym, But so he really tested my patience, and I was grateful for it, because as soon as practice started, he let me earn what I could earn, and he really gave me the reins like immediately. He really gave me the reins immediately. In the first 2 games that we played, he had us on like a regular sub schedule. I knew like 8 minutes, 10 minutes in the second half, I was coming out. 10 minutes in the first half, I was coming out for 2 or 3 minutes. I knew that. But then I grabbed him one day. I was like, if I'm going, we hot, like, let me rock. And he let me rock. And that started my most important relationship when it came to basketball, because he helped shape me how I am as a coach.
Wow, really? Yeah, my first encounter with him, when I played at Farmingdale, I was JUCO, and I was like, okay, so I was getting letters from Adelphi, CW Post, all these Division II schools, but At the time, they had my major. So I said, I want to stay home. I'm done with this thing. I want to stay home and let people see what I can do because now I improved. So I want to go to CSI. I go to his office. He was recruiting me. And I was like, to be honest, I was like, I'm not Division III material. I should play D2 at least. So I said, I want to hear him out. He told me about the team. And he was like, yeah, you can help us out. We could really use somebody like you. You could play like, I forgot what position he was telling me to play, but it was basically, he was talking to me as if I could come off the bench and help. And I was thinking to myself, I didn't say it to him, but I was like, no, I'm coming. If I'm coming to start. Like, and he was telling me about Brian Gasper, because Brian Gasper was there at the time, and how nice he was at telling me this. And me and him play the same position. Now, I used to kill him in summer leagues, in all his leagues. So I knew I'm better than this guy, but I didn't say anything. I let him talk. And he kept saying, yeah, Brian Gasper's this, that, and the third. So he's going to come back. And then I'm sitting there saying, I told him, I said, bro, I play the same position. I'm coming here. I feel like I'm going to start. And he gave me this look as if he didn't believe that. And that's when I said, I'm not going here. And I'm not going to say I don't like him after that, but I just didn't feel like it was a good connection because he was telling me as if I had no shot. You know what I'm saying? But listening to what you're saying, he probably would have, I would have to earn it. I get all that. But I had played and I felt I know my game and I know I just wanted a chance. And the way he communicated to me, I didn't think he would give me that. You see what I'm saying? But
one thing I tell you about Coach Petosa is he definitely gonna make you earn everything, which I had to figure out from the beginning. And two is that he's a very loyal person. So
yeah, that's probably what it was.
I already like very, very loyal. Now I've been in a position where, my former high school teammate was already there, Del Toronto, and he was the point guard. Now, he was a point guard, and then I was coming in. I was definitely a point guard, and Dale had never played anything but point guard. So he had never told me that, you could play point guard and Dale will move to the 2. We didn't know what was going on. Up until practice started, probably like 2-3 weeks, I thought it was either me or him, We never played on the same team. We always went against each other. So I'm looking at it as like, I got to earn – if I want to start, I got to – beat his spot out because I don't think he's not going to play him at the point guard. He's been there for 2 years already. But he ended up playing us together, which was the best thing for me, for sure.
Yeah, that's
the best thing. And was the best thing for Dale. So he got Dale because we needed Dale on the court, but we unlocked another part of Dale's game because his playmaking skills were still there, but he didn't have to worry about managing the team, which wasn't a strength of his. Dale could pass his behind off, and he could shoot it, and he would guard the best player on the team every night. He didn't have to worry about getting picked up 94 feet. Let me do that. Like, I'll do that. You pick me up 94 feet. And, so, like, Petosa, very loyal, very upfront, and I've never heard him tell anybody, like, yo, you know what? Because he probably knew in retrospect that I was going to come and I was going to play, but he was never going to tell me that. So, I learned a lot from that situation.
I just think the communication could have been a little bit better because at the same time, I knew I would have to earn it, because he was the man. Like, I mean, I don't know if you heard, you probably heard of him. I knew him. Brian Gasper was good, and he had a great career, and he did well on CSI. All I wanted to know, I knew I was better. All I wanted was opportunity. And the way he communicated to me, I felt that I wasn't going to get that. You know what I'm saying? I felt like even if I did, he was stuck on Brian Gasper. And John Cali played there too. So John Cali, I knew from the Berry homes, and he even said, we talked. And I said, I think I'm probably going to come there. And I was like, man, me and him, we would do work. But the way he communicated to me, I just didn't like that. And I feel as a coach, if you want a kid or something like that, you tell them, you honest, be straight up. But at the same time, let them have an opportunity. Say, okay, this is what it is right now. But when you come in, we're going to see what happens. And then if you prove yourself, sky's the limit for you. You know what I'm saying? That's what I wanted. I didn't want to hear, he's locked in. There's no way. Or maybe I could switch it up and play out together like with you.
Play together.
That would have been great.
Yeah.